This is the No Strings Podcast with Rel Simon. What's up, y'all? This is No Strings Podcast, episode 52, Vehiclepidemic. All one word, chaos mode. It is chaotic out there, folks, with the vehicle epidemic. Brought to you by Spotify for podcasters. And let's get right into it with an audio clip. Credit goes to @TheBlazyArnold, who posted her story about her and her husband's current car payments. And that's what I'm going to get into today. Different social media stories from people who have the most outrageous car payments. And also a rise in wheel and rim thefts in this DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. So without further ado, let's pull it over to this audio clip from her TikTok video @TheBlazyArnold.
My husband drives a 2020 GMC AT4 Sierra 1500. We bought it in August of 2022. Financed it for $78,000. He still has a remaining balance of, I think it's $72,000 or $74,000. I haven't really checked recently. His payments are $1,600 a month. So y'all thought my $1,400 Tahoe payment was bad. His truck payment is $1,600 a month with an APR of 14%. So yeah, y'all stop coming after me for my bad finance decisions and go after him because he fucked up too. Too bad he didn't buy his truck for him. I did. So yeah, I messed them both up. Oops. So maybe we should just let his truck get repossessed and keep the Tahoe, because a $1,400 Tahoe payment is a whole lot better than a $1,600 truck payment. Or maybe we should just let them both go back because we have the Audi now and don't need either of the car payments.
Again, so let's break that clip down, right? She talked about how her husband drives a 2020 GMC AT4 Sierra 1500. Financed in 2022 for $78,000, and they currently he owes $74,000 on the car. She bought both their cars, but hey, the monthly payment on that one is $1,600, and then her car payment is $1,400. So that equates to a $3,000 burden every single month just for a car. Car payments, and they ain't even eat yet. Ain't even pay rent yet. Light bill. You hear children in the background. I'm not sure how many children she has. I do follow her on her TikTok account. But that's before anything else. Are they paying a car payment on time? What's happening with that? And so if you thought your car payment was bad, then you better just think again. And if y'all caught that at the end of the video, she did ponder if they should just go ahead and just sell both of the vehicles and at the same time still keep the Audi that they have in the driveway. That's crazy. They definitely up on me, right? Because I don't have a car. I never owned a car, but now the history of a vehicle goes back centuries, obviously. A marvel of innovation. Alongside the airplane, the train, everything except for walking, right? Bicycle. Now, cars are typically the second largest financial purchase that you will make, usually with your home taking the top order. Your starter home, your next home, your multiple homes, right? I looked up some stats on Cox Automotive. And per Cox Automotive, the average price for a new car in 2024 is $47,433. And according to Bankrate.com, the average monthly car payment for new cars is $738. The average monthly car payment for used cars is $532. The average cost of car insurance is about $193 per month. So that totals $931 for new vehicles and $725 for old. And to top that off, your vehicle ain't even eat yet, aka have a full gas tank, pay for gas. So the Blazing Arnold and her husband, they're way above the average in terms of monthly payment. Again, she's paying $1,600, or she's paying $1,400. He's paying $1,600 a month on his car payment, where the average monthly car payment for new cars is $738, right? And you may be around that average. You may be a little over. You may be a little under. Everyone is different. And I first saw this video on JJ Buckner's YouTube. Shout out to JJ Buckner, finance guy. I saw this video back in May. And on that video, he was quoted as saying, quote, "Car payments are killing the middle class right now. They're killing everyone. I mean, besides the ultra rich, but they probably don't have any car payments," end quote. We know that car dealerships will sleazeball you into signing your credit and life away. That's why I tell you, you must examine and be careful when agreeing to these auto loans, just like credit cards and student debt and everything like that. And it may get to a point where you'll need to refinance or sell your current car if you're at a point where you're spending $1,500 a month, $3,000 a month, all encompassing, or $1,200 a month, all encompassing, and you can't make your other ends meet. Everyone's situation is different, but a car should not be such a burden on yourself. Now, I do pause because I've gotten a little far into the video, about 4 or 5 minutes, not video, but podcast, about 5 or 6 minutes into this episode. And I know there's some people that are probably looking at me and asking me, what the hell do you have to say in terms of an opinion when you don't even drive? And that's true. I do not have a car, and I've never owned one. My living situation and lifestyle just doesn't warrant one for me at the moment. I've always been near the metro or close to the grocery store, wherever I need to be, close to the gym. Living in DC, working in DC. And so I can't speak on the true experience of everything that goes into owning and maintaining a vehicle. Also, at the same time, I do understand that your motor transport, you need a vehicle, or you need a motor transport because you have one child or multiple children. You've got a lengthy commute to work. That may not work with riding a commuter rail or local rail. And for some, it's a necessity to have. You may have a vehicle from your job for your job, right? Or you may have a vehicle that you use in collaboration for your side business, or not even side business, for your own business. And it's a necessity. But for others, it's a symbol to show off wealth, to show that you got it. It's that excitement of leaving the lot with that Honda Accord, Hyundai Tucson, Toyota Corolla. Or maybe you step it up a little bit. Dodge Durango, Dodge Charger, Tesla Model Y, Tesla Cybertruck, Chevrolet Silverado, GMC Sierra, like the husband has. I get it 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt, I get it. And so I think where we are now is that it has become a crisis where for a lot of people, they're financing their life away with a vehicle, and let alone that vehicles really are depreciating assets. And for me in the future, I will own a vehicle, but maybe I'll live in Maryland or Virginia one day because obviously DC is too expensive. But when I do, I know the time and place when I will get a vehicle. And hopefully by that time, I'll be able to save up for a nice vehicle. I think one thing you do have to do is clearly, before you enter the dealership, just think extensively about which vehicle you seek to purchase. And also on top of that, what you want to do is make sure you, again, do a budget, figure out what type of vehicle you can truly afford, how it works within your budget in terms of your payments. If you can save enough money for a car, go for it, right? Now, those vehicle brands that I previously mentioned are the companies, Toyota, Tesla. Clearly, they're all in the money-making business. Every business is. They're looking to make a profit, whether that's through straight sales or from leasing or credit or interest through these signing agreements and these leases, where this money must be paid back down the line with added interest. It's all in the businesses. It's the businesses taking a stance and protecting their own self. But again, the dealerships, they'll sweet talk you into this disadvantaged math. I'm pretty sure you may or may not have been sweet talked at the dealership about how this car is great. Let me take you on a test drive. That's what the employees are there for. They get incentivized to be able to goad you and push you in the right direction towards that dream vehicle, or that vehicle that you can't even afford or think you can afford. And so again, whenever I do buy a car, I hope to pay for most, if not all of it, in cash. Like JJ Buckner said, it's the killing and it's the death of the middle class right now. You've got poor and then you've got high end, where again, you read all the articles, you're making $100,000, six figures. That's not enough to survive. The 15 and 20% interest rate APRs for these vehicles, they're keeping the middle class from having more finances in order to have money for food, savings, investing, or even vacations. Because obviously, you can't save or invest everything. You still got to be able to take a break. And speaking of break, I'm going to take a pause for a cause, do an interlude right quick. And I want to make sure I get the name right because this episode's a little shifting, trying to put pieces of audio together. It's definitely different. Spotify for podcasters did change around their interfaces and their process, but I think I'm going to get it right. I'm putting the pieces together. We're going to pump out this episode 52. But I do want to shout out Hippodrome for the Atlanta interlude that I'll play during the break. Just a short clip that I edited down from the full track from pixabay.com, royalty-free interlude, no copyright music. So again, Hippodrome, HYPPODROME, Atlanta interlude, and I will see you on the other side. All right, so here we are back after the interlude, episode 52, Vehicle Epidemic. I am spelling it as one word, VEHICLEPDI. Sorry, let me start that again. VEHICLEPIDEMIC, Vehicle Epidemic. Again, before the break, we talked about the craziness of the car dealerships and an outrageous car payment. We've got a couple more examples here. Not sure if y'all heard of YouTuber Caleb Hammer, but he's become pretty popular nowadays. I saw his video, one of his shorts, and he interviewed a couple who owed $56,000 on their 2020 BMW X1. Her monthly payment of the couple, the wife's monthly payment is $1,140. And as you look at the short, her husband tried to talk her out of it, and she said no. The term length of the car is 6 years with a 15% interest rate. Caleb snapped back at her and told her that after crunching the numbers, the Kelley Blue Book numbers, that the current value of that car today, quote, is probably $8,020, end quote. So this lady is driving a vehicle that is only worth 14% of how much she actually owes on it. We know the vehicles depreciate as soon as they're driven off the lot. But when you're sitting on these outrageous payments, I mean, these are student loan numbers right here. $56,000, $78,000. You're not even getting a degree out of this vehicle. You're getting from A to B, but not a degree. I did not mean to rhyme there. But it kind of makes you scratch your head. What are we doing with this couple with the 2020 BMW X1? What are we doing, couple, husband and wife, with the $1,600 and $1,400 car payments? I don't know. I can't really explain it. I recently had a conversation with a colleague who bought a 2024 premium edition Toyota for under $40,000 with upgrades. This colleague wanted the premium version because, quote unquote, it came with everything. That's usually how it is and why the cars cost more, right? For one, there's a labor cost, there's parts, but also, again, the vehicle has evolved from this 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s to now in this new century. And in 2024, where a lot of vehicles have the touchscreen, the Apple CarPlay, navigation, lane assist, and so many things that, and a lot, let alone the hybrid EV, hybrid models as well. And there's a lot of technology in these vehicles, which costs a lot of money, of course. He told me, this person told me that his trade-in value for the last car was only $1,000. That he has a 10.5% interest rate for this new purchase or lease, which he plans to refinance sometime within the next 2 years. And this person is paying around the monthly average that I mentioned earlier of $738 for a new payment. Now, definitely to his credit, he's close to paying down the home that he shares with a family member and has no student loan debt. So there's some positives here. There's some negatives there. It's good that he has no student loan debt. Like I tell y'all, you want to get out of that. And is also close to paying down the home. But y'all do know that it's frowned upon in the personal finance community to take on that much of a consumer debt. Credit cards, which I will get into a lot in my next episode, I imagine. I'm working on, I'm doing like this, trying to get this episode, and I got something else down the pike. But right, we think about this consumer debt. The auto loans, the credit cards, student loans. And so I ask you, how much does it really cost to own the fancies of the American dream? Because financing vehicles, leasing every few years, going from car to car, trade-ins and going to the next vehicle, that seems to keep you in this debt loop. And y'all pay attention to that word debt loop, because I do plan on doing a future episode about the debt loop that keeps us trapped. And that's a perfect example. And it's funny because I actually just went to the Apple store today to get a replacement battery. I think it's been 2 years. There was a notification that it needs to be serviced. And you think about the phone upgrades where you're not really in debt with a phone upgrade. When you upgrade to the next phone, you're just making those monthly payments, but you are locked into a contract and your bill's mostly the same for 24, 48 months. And then you're eligible for another upgrade, and then you go and get the next phone, and then either 1, 2, or 3 years later, 4 years later, you get the next phone, and then the next phone. You're kind of in that type of loop. But with the car, obviously with the car dealership, you're not in debt with the retailers such as T-Mobile or Verizon. You can be behind on your bills, and they can cut your phone off, but you're stuck in that cycle. Well, if you choose to be sort of stuck in that cycle, if you're trying to pick up what I'm putting down here, and it kind of feels the same way when you are financing the vehicles. Maybe you lease, and then every 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you get a different one. Trying to refinance, but you still owe a little bit to the dealership. There's probably a little bit of interest that is being accumulated also. So we got into some of those shock stories. The first two really being the shock, the Caleb Hammer one, and then the Blasey Arnold video, and especially with JJ Buckner's reaction. But just imagine if you were 30 years old and you currently had no investment savings at that point, planning to retire at 65. Now, if you were to invest the average monthly car payment of $738 into the stock market, with the average return being 10%, you will retire with $2,801,918.88. If you were 35 years old, instead of 30, that magic number will be $1,668,240.09. I credit Anthony O'Neill, the AnthonyO'Neill.com wealth projection calculator used to crunch those numbers. And so you can imagine if you're doing more of the future focused or having that future focused mentality, how it ends up paying dividends for you, no pun intended, when you're putting your money into the stock market. But there's a lot of necessities and wants in the present that we are being hampered down by, and it's to our fault, because it's all about self-control and what you choose to do. You choose to drive off the lot with that particular car, or you sign that lease, you made the credit card purchase, you open that credit card, but at the same time being hamstrung by again these sleazy dealerships. But there is a power in owning things with no strings attached. Let's get into the habit of paying off the principal and interest on the home mortgage. Take a quick glance at your college degree and how it's gathering a little bit of dust. But notice how some of that dust might actually fall off, or it may look a little shinier if you polish it a little bit with that extra cash you have on hand because you eliminated your student loans. So pay off that car. If you want that car, keep it for a while. Pay it off, ride it till the wheels fall off. Get into a habit or a plan where you're future focused and you're saving up enough money where by the time those wheels get ready to fall off on that car, you would have situationally saved enough to purchase another vehicle with cash outright. Now, this episode is almost over, but I want y'all to go check out the TikTok account at Bebo. I'm not gonna lie, I thought TikTok was trash, man. But TikTok's alright for promoting stuff and the short form content. It's okay. It's decent. It's decent. But anyway, his TikTok account is at Bebo. He's a middle-aged Caucasian man that tows vehicles around this area, DC, DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. He posts many of his upcoming jobs and his calls. And I'm sure he clearly tows cars. Break down mechanical faults, I'm sure. But I think to his credit, what's been trending for him is these stolen wheels and stolen rims. He'll post a video of the location. Clearly, he's showing like the model of the car. But you got these cars that's being left on bricks, crates, even left on the ground. And these are on the street. These are in parking lots. These are in parking garages. In DC, Delphi, Upper Marlboro, Shirlington, Laurel, Morningside, Greenbelt, Capitol Heights, Tyson's. I just tried to type. I flipped through a few of his videos and just looked at his location, but all around this entire area. And again, they're getting people in the garage complexes, whether it's a public garage, if it's an apartment garage, hotel parking lots. I know a few years ago when my boys unfortunately had it and he was devastated with all his tires gone. In my apartment complex, they had a door issue and a garage door issue recently. And I thought I heard somebody when I was getting on the elevator talking about they left her sitting on bricks. So, anywhere where there's an opening, these fools will come out here and do it and just take your stuff at night, and you come down and you think you're getting ready to go to work, and boom, you're not going anywhere. And it's a real vehicle epidemic. Why I titled the video this, because you see it from two sides, from both financing the car, but also from thefts and things outside of your control. That's causing so much of this distress. And this is definitely threatening the safety of the community. You got these thefts that are random. You got your vehicles that are unsafe. And so I just tell you to make sure to take extra precautions to protect yourself. Definitely protect your investment. I'm not saying a car is like an investment, because granted it's a depreciating asset, but you want to protect this thing that you own, right? Or as you pay it off, you're close to own, but you want to protect. You want to protect what you have, and try to take these extra precautions, right? So that's all I got for this episode right here. Just trying to highlight what's going on around this area in the DMV area. And those social media stories, those could be from people that live all over the country, but I'm sure the vehicle prices are the same, if not a little more, a little less around the DMV area. And again, it's a heavy debt burden to hold, y'all. So, just definitely be wise in your decision making out here. I hope to be wise in my decision making once I finally own a vehicle, whenever that may be, right? Just trying to, get the wife and the kid. Well, obviously, I need a vehicle before the kids, but but that's, again, American dream. A lot of it is about status. A lot of people out here are just like trapped in this debt loop, and they just want to show off and impress. For some people, it's a necessity, and they have to have it, but the math isn't mathing, right? And you fall into a situation where it just doesn't fall into your budget, being underwater on your car, and it's causing you so much distress. And you definitely don't want that distress double, where you still may owe $15,000 on your car, and you wake up in the morning and you see your car sitting on bricks. So y'all just be careful out here. That's all I got for this one. this vehicle epidemic we got out here, y'all. But thank you for listening to the podcast, episode 52. I will catch you on the next one. Peace. Thank you for listening to the No Strings Podcast with Rel Simon.